Game time. Right, click the right button. Hello, folks. Of course, I am down here. Why am I down? Oh, cool. What can you see? Can't see anything. You're not looking. Don't see anything. No. Nothing to see here. Nothing whatsoever. Dude, what am I doing? Almost gave the game away. I see people chatting. Hello, Martin. Pizza. Dickie, Pagan. Robot Monkey. G, the Hypersapien. Hypersapien? That's a new one. Hello, folksicles. Yes, I am pottering in the studio. I've got the camera up a bit. Yeah, so you can't actually see what I'm working on. Because I need to get this book stuff finished before, before I go home. So I can come in tomorrow and just do some flocking. Because I like flocking. I like making terrain, to be truthful. You will notice I am looking a little bit hairy. Yeah. I made the decision that I'm not going to shave the beard until the book is done. So it's with me for a few weeks yet. I'll be Santa by the time I'm done. Right, let's get a brush. A nice brush. A dry brushy brush. That's a nice broad brush, isn't it? Yeah, I like that for a dry brushy brush. Then we need a nice light grey. That's a bit too light. Too dark. That's got a bit of a green tint to it. Ah, come on. You really need to sort your paints out, Bose. Have we got touch silver anywhere? Yeah, there we go, touch silver. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of dry brushing and chatting to you guys. Ooh, God, what happened to that? Let's give it a stir, see if we can get the colour back into it. Thought it had a touch of green to it. You can always see the tints in the paints when they separate. You know, because of the different densities, they start to show up. So, we're going to do a little bit of light dry brushing on this one. The book is going well. I am writing like you wouldn't believe. Ridiculous, to be truthful. Could he possibly use his beard for dry brushing? Calm down, Cat. Calm down, Tam. Thought it was Cat for a second there. Bunch of retrobates. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Yeah, that's working. So I've been knee deep in hills and grass work this week. I don't think the top of Mel's head has seen that much hair since the 90s. Really? Mel, in 2 weeks. I'm temporarily sleeping on the couch until the book is done. Is that an indication towards like me and Kerry? Or an indication to the fact that I'm just going to end up living in the studio? Which is a possibility. I've done it before for a day or two. I am quite lucky though in the sense that we are actually closing in. Thank God. Waiting for Mel to do a full shining. Do you know what? I could go that way. Like yesterday, I got into the studio for about midday. Yeah, I was here. I was working till about 8 o'clock at night. Went home, had my tea. I started writing at 10 o'clock. I continued writing till 6:30 a.m. Yeah, 8.5 hours writing through the night. Then I went to sleep for 5 hours, got up at 11:30, got back in here for 12, and we're currently on what? We're currently on 7:30. So I've been here 7.5 hours, and I reckon at least another hour to go before I go home and continue writing, because I've got to get this section finished. Otherwise, I'm going to end up behind. Yes, Genuinely, there's that much going on. It does look nice. Hey, Norman. Red rum, red rum. Can you imagine it? Turns around with axe. Here's Melly. There have been numerous discussions about future books in the household, and I think future books, I'm not saying they're not going to happen, but I have a definite feeling that they will be done, yeah, a lot more before we go to Kickstarter. See, I want to show you what I'm working on. That's the other thing that's drove me nuts about this book. The fact that I've worked on so much cool terrain. Yeah, and I just can't show you. Oh, my phone's buzzing. I'm in trouble with someone. Is it the wife? That's nice. I've got to put it where you can't see. I'm sure you guys will pause it and just have a quick glimpse. You get. You're getting me in trouble. I've got to hide things under the table. All writing and flocking makes Mel a dull boy. All writing and... Oh, you Robot Monkey, you can calm that down. Tonight I get my new bike delivered and I can't wait to see the box it comes in. Such a nerd. New bike, is that a push bike or a... I'm guessing it's not a motorbike. I had a new bike. Yeah, I pulled an well, we got an absolute blinder. As you know, those of you who know the family will know that Corbyn's a cadet. Well, the cadets were getting rid of some bikes because they'd had some new ones in. And I managed to get this mountain bike and it cost me £25. And when I looked it up, it was £1,000 new. So I got a £1,000 bike which has been maintained quite well by the army. Yeah, for £25. Still drove to work. Do you ever put paint down on a piece and go, I'm not sure if that's going to work? Only for it later to come together beautifully. Now, you guys know that I'm sort of taking a little break from the channel while I get stuck and finish this book, so that's why there's been no videos. Yeah, there will be videos soon. Yeah, because I've got Halloween stuff I'm working on as well, so that comes out for the Halloween, and I've actually got that prepared. So I'm sort of preparing for a later release, if you know. Robot Monkey, yeah, I know that, apart from it coming together beautifully bit. Oh, mate, it does. You just got to keep cracking on at it, and it does come together. It's having faith. That's quite nice, actually. And if it doesn't, it can always be fixed or learnt from. That's what I do. Just happened on my board. I'll do a complete repaint tomorrow. Really disappointed. What just happened? On your entire board? Hey? Dude, surely you don't need an entire repaint. Can you not just get away with a big brown wash and darken things down? So we can't see what he's doing because he's doing bookwork. Yes. The keen-eyed of you and you pausers may spot little things as they're carried across desks and stuff like that. But I can't, properly show you. I mean, to be truthful, yeah, if I properly showed you, you're probably going to get, like... You're probably going to, why did I back the book? Yeah, the reason being is what I'm painting up right now is the simple, easy hills. You know, the starter hills. So they're quite rough and basic. Whereas the big white one that you saw over, that's getting painted up tomorrow, and that's going to have the more realistic tones because it's a more realistic hill. So if I was to show you what I've been building now, you're probably going to go, really? That's in the terrain book? Yes, it's in the terrain book, but it's in the terrain book because it sets up founding principles that the section builds on until we get to the realistic one. So it's probably best that you don't see. Because you're probably like, what the? Why did I back that? Whereas, if I showed you just the realistic hill when it was painted, everyone would be like, what, the book's full of that? And I'll be leading you along. Got on a brown, turned red, was on me painter's mid-brown. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yes, I know you're sad because you can't see what's in the book. Everyone wants it finished. I want it finished, you want it finished, my wife wants it finished. Although I've got to say, it is looking beautiful. It really is. We've started doing the bits. What sort of page count is it? 176 pages. Is the page count. So far I've written and we've laid out probably about 120 and we've got about 50 left. But the sections that are left are mainly practical ones. So they're quite... well, I say they're less of... Well, actually, no. Yeah, they are less of a word count. I mean, the materials section was 16, 1,000 words, whereas I reckon the hills is only going to be 5,000 words. Yeah, this isn't a picture book. It's got lots of pictures in it, but it's got lots of instructions. Is there a late pledge available? Yeah, the link should be down in the description. I hope it's down in the description. YouTube hasn't messed around with it. But if not, just post on my Facebook page and I'll send you the link for there. But yeah, there is, back orders available. Sorry, late orders. I can't show you. I've told you I can't show you. Well, we're done with the dark grey. How crazy is this? Live behind the scenery. Come watch Mel. Mel's head. Hey, Will. I think that includes Dave's. What's that? 16 less than I thought. Is it 100? Actually, no. Is it 186? Right. It's a multiple of 16 because the book is formed from 16-page sheaths, which are essentially little booklets that are all put together to form the book. So, 32, 64, 128. What's 64 to 128? 186? I have a feeling it's round about that mark. Do you know, I can't remember now. I can't remember. Oh, there's plenty of model railroaders in here. We get people from all different persuasions. That was an easy one, wasn't it? Oh, Mel. Thank you and Fred for the painting ideas. They worked out great. No worries. 192. Right, ain't 192. What's 16 off that then? 176? I think it's 176 then. I don't know because I haven't been keeping track of the overall. I keep track of the sections and how many pages it takes up compared to how many were allocated to it. So I can make sure I balance the book, so to speak, and actually make sure everything goes in. And so I don't actually know. I did. I've just forgotten. Right, well they're all done. Now what? We could do a cream. Or we can do a stipple work. Should we do stipple work? I think we'll do stipple work. Waiting for my stepson to move out in January, then I can have some, actually use some of the stuff I bought. You're after the space, are you, mate? Know that one well. Be a while. I could have waited until the kids sort of grew up, but I just decided it'd be easy to get a studio. With the amount I do. Right, phone. Someone messaged me, so who's that? Did you get anywhere with a snow ice paint job? I don't think that's at me. Tomorrow's my birthday. Nice one, Gary. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you. There you go. How about that then? Right, shouldn't even... I keep going... Shouldn't work on a live stream. But I need to work on a live stream because I need to get this done. Yeah, that one will do. A little bit of sponges for some stippling. Sea sponge works nice. Yeah, it's got nice fibres to it. Yeah, but normal sponge ripped up can work just as well. Right, so I need some of my lighter grey. In fact, I've got some there. I want to touch that with a touch of yellow, actually. So, give me a bit of yellow. Lemon yellow. That's nice. Now, I only need the tiniest touch of it. That's too much. Like that much. For tinting grey. And it's almost too much. Right, stippling time. I hear visitors. Hello, come in. Hello, Fredicus. Hey, right. Fred. Put yourself up a seat, mate. I'm giving Fred a lift home. So what's got it?
Hi, everybody.
So he's come. You can't talk about what I'm doing. They're not allowed to see it because it's for the book.
Oh, right. So it's an on.
Yeah, so don't be picking things up and having a look at them, Fred, because you'll get me in trouble.
Is it a copyright discretion?
Well, it's not copyright. It's more an issue of what you call it, of giving the game away early.
You ever seen a skull like that?
Oh, Tumbler's cowards, yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, but that's not upside down. That's the right way around.
Yeah. I was an air cadet, so I learned about weather.
Yeah. We used to live in Evanston in Illinois, and we had a whole row of west-facing windows.
Right.
We were on just about the only hill in Illinois, so we had a good view west. And we used to get all the weather because the weather comes from west to east,
right?
Like it does in the UK. So we used to see the weather before it was coming, before it arrived rather. You could see it miles away. And one day there was a twister.
All right, okay.
It's the only time we
like
ever
a proper
experienced
twister.
one. Oh yeah. It was about 15 miles away, but because we had such an advantageous position, we could actually see, what was going on.
That was interesting.
The sky went pea soup green.
Green?
It went green, I swear.
That must have freaked you out as an artist.
Yeah, I've never seen the sky that colour before.
Why?
It was exactly the colour of pea soup. I don't know. And I was standing there at these windows.
What would have caused the light to have gone like that?
I really don't know, but it went as green as peas, and started going around in a circular motion. Because it was about 15 or 20 miles away, we thought, well, we'll go down to the supermarket.
We'll be fine.
It won't be.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Well, we drove down there okay, but once we got in the supermarket, the twister suddenly decided to come in our direction. So they locked the supermarket and everybody in it.
Yeah.
Locked the doors and told everybody to back away from the windows. And I swear, those plate glass windows were bending in. You could see them bending in.
Oh.
Yeah, with the pressure. Because the pressure on the inside and the outside was so different. And the windows were bending in.
Man,
very worrying.
Mad, mate.
Yeah. So they really experienced some very severe storms in America. And then after it had passed by, because they let us out of the supermarket, we drove home. There was trees, telegraph wires, everything all over the road. It was a mess.
So while you were locked in, did they give you like free food and stuff and make you comfortable?
No.
Do they still have to? I'm locked in your store.
Well, funnily enough, as we were locked in there, my wife spotted a mouse.
What, a mouse?
Yeah, a mouse in the supermarket. So she reported it to the manager, and he said, "I think we've got more important things to worry about at the moment. There's these windows bowing in."
There's a mouse over there. He's hiding from the hurricane.
Yeah.
Tornadoes suck up the grass. Really? So is that why it's green? Because that's grass particles?
Is that what it is? How interesting. I didn't know that.
No, it makes a perfect sense, doesn't it? Because it would.
Yeah.
And when you see the debris, it is loose little bits.
Bits of soil, bits of twigs and trees, but it never occurred to me the grass. Yeah, and of course, it was absolutely perfect green. I've never seen anything like it. Very strange.
How bizarre, mate.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of travel, actually, is it broadens your horizons. You get to see different things that you wouldn't.
I always said the beauty of travel is it narrows your horizons greatly. See, he knows what I'm talking about.
It makes you want to come home.
Yeah. Good old Blighty. These foreigners.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean it. I loved visiting America. Although I will say this to my American friends. Damn, you like your saturated foods.
In generous proportions.
Mate, I'll tell you what, by the time I come to the end of Adepticon, I was craving, carbohydrates. I was, like, I was craving oats. Kat sent me this parcel, like a care package, and it got like a breakfast oats pot in it.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, my God, that was probably the best meal of Adepticon. Yeah, my taste buds and my body just screamed at me like, yeah, this is what we've been after.
Yes, the food, I love the food in America, actually. I thought the food was great. Because it's very cheap over there. It costs,
not in this bloody convention hotel.
So you can eat, you can go large on the food without paying very much money, in America, yeah. And a sandwich is a meal.
Botard? I don't know what botard means.
What's what, sorry?
I don't know. Comment in there. I wouldn't worry, Fred. Let me get a stip on this. Oh. So we've got new artists in, I see.
Oh, is there somebody moving in?
Yeah, a new ceramic person moving into 11.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yes, I met her briefly the other day, yes. A very nice lady,
Yeah, seems nice, lass.
Yeah, she told me her name, but I've completely gone out of my mind.
Samba or Zaka?
Or something like that, yes. It was an unfamiliar name. So it's not funny how you can remember a Dave or a John, but then an unfamiliar name, you just seem to forget it. And you'd think exactly the opposite, wouldn't you? You'd think an unusual name, you'd remember.
It's because we know so many people of the unfamiliar names, it's easy for us to sort of pick out.
People have far more interesting names now. When I was a little boy, it was all, if you were a boy, you were either John, David.
Yeah.
If you were a girl, you were either Sheila or, it went on like that.
It was very much like that.
Ordinary names, yeah.
We've sort of mixed up the names now, haven't we? And gone a bit funky with everything.
More interesting, I think, actually, yeah, because...
There's a few Khaleesi's about. That won't work out well after the final episode, will it? I named my daughter Khaleesi. Freya. No, no, no. You just went to too many fast food places. To be perfectly honest, Kat, yeah, that was the only sort of places around a hotel.
In the immediate area.
Yeah. I mean,
because you weren't in Chicago Central, were you?
No. We were in Schaumburg, which is
Schaumburg, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of a, what's it called? A district?
It's like a suburb, yeah. Yeah, or an area. Because Chicago's a big city.
Isn't it just?
So it's got lots of outlying kind of areas, one of which we lived in when we lived there, yeah. So we never lived in Chicago downtown, we always used to live in one of the burbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the hotel is in the middle of nowhere. Absolutely middle of...
Yeah. Okay, I won't mention what you're doing now.
I'm just stippling.
I'm not saying a thing.
I can mention what I'm doing, I just can't show them what I'm doing it on.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit light, but it'll knock it back down once it dries.
Are you using a natural sponge there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always use natural sponges. They're better because they're more hard wearing.
I find you get a better stipple off them, to be truthful.
Better texture, yes. Yeah.
You know, than
That's true. Yeah.
the normal ones. And let's put just a bit more grey back in there. Just to knock that back a bit.
I discovered a place that imports them from Greece, from the Aegean, actually, natural sponges, if ever you need any.
All right, okay.
Let me know.
I bought one and it's been doing me for years.
They last for absolutely ages. Sometimes online they can be very expensive. I've seen them going for 30, 40, 50 pounds for a sponge, for a natural sponge. And these were just £5 each, and they're quite big.
That's all right, actually.
I thought it was very good, actually, yeah.
7 tornadoes hit Colorado Springs in 1979.
Wow.
I was at my sergeant's house drinking beer and we watched them tear up the town. The gas station blowing up was impressive. Damn! What air drying clay would you recommend? Generally, if you're doing small craft pieces, get Dad's clay. It's cheap, easy, and get your hands on it. Coming from the potteries, I have a 25 kilo sack of air drying clay that I nicked off a pallet from the China Hall. PCB had got like 7 pallets of air drying clay, and it was just like,
It was going begging.
yeah, well, one won't matter, will it, Fred?
There's also this stuff we discovered last week as well, the Ceradel. C-E-R-A-D-E-L. That's an air drying plastic. Which could be very useful if you're doing a build, yeah, because if you want to custom build something.
No, I hear you, mate.
An air drying plastic could be very useful,
It'd be interesting to check it out.
Yeah.
Right,
I've never tried it, so I'm only going on the catalogue.
Train tutors should get some style tips off Fred. Nice shirt, mate. Do you know what? Yeah, he turns up and then he gets dressed into his studio clothes, and then when he's done, he gets dressed into his normal clothes, which means he looks quite nice. Me, Muggins, I wander through town with like legs like that. I mean, I'm sure people think I'm a painter and decorator.
Well, there's nothing wrong in that.
No, nothing wrong at all.
Yeah, but all my clothes come from second-hand shops. I hardly ever buy anything new at all.
Mate, I'm still wearing clothes I bought bloody 20 years ago.
So am I. Yeah, 30 years ago. I've got a shirt from the 1980s. I shouldn't say that online, should I? It says a bit parsimonious.
No, watch out. I'm damn sure most of these people in here are probably the same.
It's amazing what you can get in charity shops nowadays, eh?
Cat saying, Fred, Mel added yellow to grey. What would he be trying to achieve with that colour combo? Why did I add yellow to grey, mate?
Well, to make it a warm grey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically, take it off monotone.
Yeah. Sometimes things that are apparently kind of like a grey colour can be actually, when you really look closely, have an undertone of pink or yellow or brown, especially natural stone.
Especially when you factor in the different types of light.
Yes, different kinds of light and also different kinds of stone. I mean, granite can be like a purplish colour, but then other kinds of rocks like limestone can be quite yellowish, and sandstone's quite reddish.
Yeah.
The Alhambra in the...
I went for burnt sienna for sandstone.
That'll be a good colour, yeah. The Alhambra in southern Spain, Alhambra means red fort.
All right, yeah.
It's built from sandstone, yeah. They say it's literally red, yeah.
It's
not sandstone.
They made
it's
a
clay,
fort
actually, that looks like
from sandstone.
It's actually not sandstone. It's pressed clay. Just correcting myself. It's actually pressed, what they call rammed clay.
All right.
They used to build the walls out of clay and then just pack it and then more layers, and then pack it, and more layers,
Right,
and pack
okay.
it. Eventually, you end up with a 12-foot thick wall that's like concrete. Yeah.
Right.
And those walls are like 25 feet high as well. So
Oh, okay.
must have taken a bit of building.
Indeed.
The French during the Napoleonic Wars tried to destroy it, but the dynamite wasn't strong enough.
That's a bit like the German, the Nazi flat towers, isn't it?
Yes.
So well built, you just can't demolish them.
Yeah, well, those in Guernsey on the Channel Islands, yeah, they're plugged into the ground rock, into the bedrock of the island.
They'd have to split the island to blow them out.
It could literally cause tectonic plate movement if they tried to move them. Yeah, get them out of there. Yeah, yeah. There was a program about Alderney on just recently, actually.
Huh?
Yeah, which was about the history of Alderney during the occupation
Oh, yeah,
during
yeah.
World War II. Because a lot of people forget that actually parts of the UK were
Occupied, they
during
were.
World War II. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the bits that are just off the French coast.
The bits that are a bit far away, yes. When the D-Day landings happened, when France was liberated, the liberating forces actually bypassed the Channel Islands, and the poor old people on the Channel Islands had to wait till the end of the war.
Yeah.
before
Well, they left the Nazis on there, doing
yes,
their thing.
They did, yeah.
Unable to leave because they'd taken the ports.
They were stuck there, yeah, with a dwindling supply of food because there's no
Which,
food.
meant they were raiding the locals, which
And
caused problems.
Everybody was suffering, yes. They had nothing to eat, yeah. So it's a very, very unhappy situation. But Guernsey, Channel Islands are beautiful to visit. Beautiful place.
We were talking about Clay, Kat's thanking you. She thought it was a time of day thing. It can be a time of day thing, but the one thing you've got to be careful with greys is they are monotone, and a grey isn't a colour. It's a shade, isn't it? Essentially, a shade of light.
The French made a fine art out of the colour grey, actually, because the French developed in the 19th century a whole range of what's called French greys, which go from cool to warm, and from dark to light. So there's three ranges: cool, warm, and French grey. And each range has a whole series from almost white to almost black. So you can actually build up a picture or build up something completely just out of greys. Because you've got the whole range of tones in there. And colours as well, because they're kind of colorised greys, they're not neutral.
So they actually turned them into colours, into hues?
Yes, the French did, yeah. And then if you make a picture of that, the French would call that a grisaille.
A grisaille?
Yeah, which is a picture made up of just greys, yeah, and black and white.
The French, they do love their art, don't they?
Oh yeah, they've got a name for everything.
We would name it this, and therefore we have made it.
Yeah.
It is as.
But of course, a lot of military terms are French as well. Yeah, when you think about it, platoon, French word.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Sergeant, French word.
Sergeant is, yeah.
There's loads of them. I just can't think of them offhand. But yeah, the French did name a lot of French military terms. Yeah.
Different gears saying myself and my father are painters and decorators. My dad always changes into shirts. I keep the work gear on. Do you know what? I am actually getting to the stage in life where I'm starting to I think I should have studio clothes and be a bit more presentable.
I don't know, because sometimes if you're talking to a client, they like it if you look like you've been working. They like
they like the idea of seeing you in your work clothes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it can be a plus,
Let's do that one. That's come out all right.
That looks good.
Yeah, I'm getting there. On to the next. I might even have these done in time.
Yeah.
Which will be a first.
So these are all for your book, aren't they? Projects
God,
for your
there's a bit
book
of black
project.
in there. Yeah, they're all for the book, mate. So, just a matter of getting stuck in, get them done. Get another section signed off, eh? Yeah. These are rough and ready ones, though, so I can be a bit slapdash with them.
Yeah. So you're just dry brushing, doing some dry brushing here you've taken most of the pigment out of the brush, so it's just got a...
Yeah, it's just a light highlight of a cream over the earth, just to give it a bit of a contrast.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll get covered with flock and grass and that sort of stuff anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So it'll get broken up further.
Right, yeah.
But it helps.
So what do you use for your flocking? Is that just that PVA glue, white glue?
Yeah, I'll just stick it down with PVA, mate.
Do you use it neat or do you water it down?
I water it down.
What?
It flows, yeah, quite a bit, so it flows.
So 1 to 10 or something like that.
Probably about 1 to 5.
1 to 5. Okay.
Yeah, for watch relate. If I want a really thin one, I'll go 1. It also depends on the actual glue, because it depends on whether you're using industrial stuff or craft stuff.
Oh,
or
if it's some are stronger than others, aren't they?
yeah, remarkably so, in fact.
Yeah. And of course, you can make glue just out of flour or water as well.
We do that with the kids.
Paste glue, yeah. That's the old-fashioned type of glue, yeah.
Oh, that's proper old school.
Yeah, it doesn't work actually too badly,
It's-
especially with paper. It really glues it.
Based on what Willow's done in the house in the past, I'd agree with that. You're right, pain in the backside.
Bit of flour and water.
Fred, what's the name of the style where most of it is grayscale, but certain items are in colour? Oh, so that's the one where, you know, when you see the photos and they're grey, but like it may have a red cloak as a spot colour.
Right, yeah. That's a modern development that nobody's, so far as far as I'm aware, has named.
Really?
Yeah, it's like quite a new thing, a mixture of black and white.
Then again, I suppose I suppose it comes with the development of digital photography and the ability to manipulate.
And all of that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't impossible in the past, and in fact, people used to hand colour photographs in the past.
Right.
Pat's mum used to do that.
Really?
When she was a young lady, yeah, hand colorised photographs, yeah. You get special inks for them.
Right.
But nowadays with the advent of Photoshop and digital photography, once you've digitalised an image, you can do anything with it.
Yeah.
You can bend it, you can colorise it, you can decolorize it, you can just about do anything with it, really. The wonders of digital photography, or the digital world. Yeah.
We're living in a brave new time, mate. Brave new time.
Indeed, yes. Things I used to have to do back in the day in my head, you can now do with
Actually, you
different
can,
apps. Yeah,
you can just manipulate it to what you want and then follow that now, I imagine.
Yeah. And I mean, if Leonardo da Vinci was alive today, he'd be trying all this stuff.
Oh God, he'd be all over it.
He'd try everything, yeah. Because
he'd be a hipster.
Yeah, because in his own day, that's exactly what he did. He experimented. He tried all the new materials. So he would have been well into computers and Photoshop and all of that. He would, yeah.
Well, what painter do you think wouldn't?
There's, I suppose, a few traditional kind of stick in the mud types that perhaps would have, stuck to their guns and stay with old-fashioned things. Well, I'm kind of like a mix of the both worlds, really. I teeter on the edge of the digital world, thanks to my wife who does all the digital work on my behalf.
Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
I was looking really good. Yeah, I used to be strictly 16th century tech, but I've upped my game.
Strictly 16th century tech.
Yeah, but I've upped my game in the last few years.
There's a saying, mate, for God's sake. Strictly 16th century tech. I think that's brilliant. It's just foam. Give this one a quick light dry brush, just to bring out those a bit.
It's remarkable what you can do nowadays, though, with all the various things available to you, both on the the marketplace in terms of materials, and also like we're just discussing with digital applications, that kind of thing. There are a lot of possibilities in modelling and painting and all kinds of things that just weren't possible. Just
3D printing, laser cutting.
Yeah,
it's crazy where it's going.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It really is. It is, to be truthful. It's my biggest struggle is keeping up with it all, to be perfectly honest.
I know the feeling.
Do you know that the real primary colours are cyan, magenta and yellow? Well, to be truthful, there's no, actual strict primary colours. It depends on which colour wheel theory you follow.
Yeah, there's various ones. Yeah, that's the colour printing, three colour printing.
Now, the reason cyan, magenta and yellow is, like Fred says, it's used in industrial printing. But you've got to remember that the inks that the paints that are used in industrial printing aren't the same as as paints used in painting, and so the oil wheel slightly tilts a bit. So there are actual variations on the but no one's actually decided what the primary colours are.
Yeah, I suppose the primary colours, like you say, according to the colour wheel that you use. There's there's the Ostwald system, there's the Chauvril system.
There's tons.
I can't remember what they're all called now. There's about 5 of them, but they are all marginally slightly different. But basically the same principles apply, which is things on the opposite side of the wheel are harmonising or complementary, and the ones next to each other kind of cancel each other out. for instance, like red and green are opposite each other. So if you put red and green next to each other, they enhance each other because they're opposite on the colour wheel and next to each other.
Well, if you mix them together, you get grey.
And if you mix them together, they cancel each other out. Absolutely, yeah. But next to each other, they enhance each other. Oh, there goes the
Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
Right, that one done. That's better. Oh,
That's looking like solid rock, isn't it?
It is. That's the point, Fred.
Looks like it weighs like 50 tons or something.
Actually, considering the amount of plaster on it, it's not far off 50 tons, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it looks heavy, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Everyone's talking about quakes.
Or earthquakes.
Yeah. Well, they chat as we do. So there's more. I always look up and there's multiple conversations going on in the chat of various different things.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where's my cloth? Do you see what I did? Oh, there.
There you go. Once saw a very interesting programme about tectonic plate movement.
Go on.
When granite snaps, when you've got two layers of granite.
Oh, you're talking about the static and the electric.
And they collide and they snap. Apparently, there's a release of something called plasma.
Yeah.
And plasma is released up into the atmosphere, and it zings around. It's like a gas. It's like a fluorescent gas. And at night, guess what? It looks like a UFO, and it goes like that. And a lot of people who see UFOs are actually seeing plasma from tectonic plate movement, often over mountain ranges.
That's cool. I love stuff like that.
Observe how many times that people see UFOs over mountain ranges.
Everyone's Alaska even caused tidal damage to our harbours here in southern California. That was massive. Really? I can't remember the last time we had a massive quake. Do you?
Well, in this country,
yeah,
it was 1100 and something.
Was it that far back?
Yeah, it was. Yes. It brought down church steeples and things all over the country.
Right. So
yeah,
proper job then.
Oh yeah, it was a big one. That was the last really serious one. We have tremors and minor earthquakes on the 4.6, 4.8 kind of Richter scale level, which if you're close to it, you're going to feel it, but most of the country really just gets tremors.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say.
Luckily
yes,
for us.
Yes. I remember visiting California and being shocked at the state of the roads because you can see the cracks where they've had the earthquakes.
Oh, right, yeah.
They have like dozens a week.
Really?
Oh yeah, they just happen all of the time. Not major ones, but like.
Why would you live somewhere so much? Setting Cat does.
It's a beautiful part of the world. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. I liked California a lot. I thought it was lovely. But yeah, so my wife always said, she couldn't live there because of the possibility of earthquakes. I suppose it just depends on how you feel about it, really.
I suppose it does, doesn't it?
A beautiful place, though. Very nice. Northern California is gorgeous. Monterey around there is lovely.
I'll get there one day.
Oh yeah, it's a paradise. It's a lovely place.
Get that one done. Let's get some colour onto that. Do these skulls. Yes, I've got skulls on a piece. It's never a proper wargaming piece without at least one with skulls on.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dutch always used to put them in the still lives.
Skulls?
So yeah, the 17th century is a kind of like a reminder of mortality.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, along with next to flowers, because flowers only last a while and then.
Oh, and then they die off.
Yeah. So, they were putting kind of like a narrative in their pictures. Yeah. So symbolically, Yeah. A bit morbid.
It's still true.
Well, it's true. Yeah, but the modern sensibility. Modern people wouldn't want pictures like that on their walls, really.
No, we wouldn't, would we?
It's a bit morbid, yeah.
Then again, we probably would now. There's probably a market. Goth.
Yeah, Goth still lives.
Goth still live.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Charlotte didn't go that way. Then again, she did go that sort of way because she does. Her artworks is like drawings of slices of brains and stuff like that, isn't it?
Very interesting stuff. Yeah, she's using like biology.
Yeah.
Microscopic slides and that kind of thing, and then she's blowing up the image and then making that into a drawing or
nice.
A picture, yeah, into an abstract picture, yeah.
Yeah, it is nice stuff, to be truthful.
Very clever, very interesting idea. I like the concept. Rather than just making something totally abstract, why not look for abstraction in reality? And there's plenty of it.
Exactly. Because you don't even notice anything under a 4. Then you just enjoy the bump until it hits a high 5. There was one in the Midlands a few years ago that was felt in London. I remember that one, Tasman. Everyone was going on about it, but I didn't even. I think I slept through that one as well, to be perfectly honest.
A few years ago, there was one about 2008, I think it was.
Right.
Maybe that's one they're referring to. 2008, I remember, because we lived for 17 years in Chicago. We never experienced an earthquake in 17 years. We came back to the UK. About 8 months later, experienced an earthquake, quite a bad one as well. It was actually centred in Lichfield.
Right. Oh yeah.
Lichfield? No, not Lichfield. The northeast. What's it called? Where the cathedral is.
Oh, Lincoln.
Lincoln. Thank you. Yeah, Lichfield, Lincoln. Always getting confused. It was in Lincoln, but close enough to us to make us shake in our boots.
Right. My last task for the day, because the rest involves washes. And I can't do washes, whilst they've got highlights on. They need to fully dry.
You've got to let them dry first.
It's that sandstone. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with that.
Yeah, that's like a pinkish, reddish.
It's burnt sienna. Slap bang on straight.
Yeah.
Straight from the bottle. I didn't even use house paint. I went straight for acrylic. So it's really rich.
Yes, yeah.
I reckon lighten it up with a cream.
Probably cream would do it, yeah, because it is like got a slightly yellowish kind of colour to it. Yellowish, reddish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've filled my palette up pretty much.
After a little while, when you're in the business of colour, you stop talking about colours and you start talking about yellowish, reddish, or bluish, greenish, or
You're talking the
greyish,
tints
reddish.
and the warmth, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because nothing is pure. You know, very, very rarely do you use a pure colour for anything.
I mean,
because you don't find it in nature. You know.
No. I mean, I found out I was sitting in front of the computer. You know when the computer comes up and it gives you like the loading screen?
Oh yeah.
And it gives you different landscapes at the minute.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I sit there, and this one came up and it was rocks.
Yeah.
And it took me 5 minutes before I could log in because I was working out what colours were in the rocks and in the ground of how I would do that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's surprising how many colours there are in rocks.
Oh God, mate.
Yeah, because when you think about it, rocks can be made up of different things. You know, there's often quartz in rock.
Quartz, iron ore, all sorts.
Iron ore makes it red. Quartz makes it kind of silvery grey. And lots of other things too. Bits of this, bits of that. And marble is even more so.
Don't know. Marble's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Sandstone here in Saxony is more beige white, not red. The beige will be from the iron though. Mel. I saw on YouTube a paper medieval building called Clever Paper for about $15. Nice. I've experienced many very big, only once damage and the rest the time I live in paradise. Right, so that's why cats live in there. Norman's saying his dog woke him up before before the big one.
They say animals know before they happen.
They do.
Sense it. Yeah, the birds will fly away.
Yeah.
And the cows will lie down on the ground rather than standing up.
Oh, let's give this a go.
That one in Indonesia was the one that was in the Far East a few years ago. The really, really bad one in the early noughties. They said that all the elephants started reacting about an hour before it actually happened.
That's pasteling quite badly, and also it's lost its brown. I can't put that on.
That's a bit pink, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit pink maybe. Bit of yellow in that now.
Bit of yellow, you reckon?
I would, yeah.
Andy having Fred here, innit?
Just a little bit.
See what that does.
Yeah, I need a bit more.
Yeah.
It's always best to put a little bit in at a time. Because once you've overdone it, you can't take some out.
That's starting.
Yeah, that's looking better, definitely. That's looking sandstony. Yeah.
I've just got to get enough of it to actually pull the technique off. Because there's nothing worse than using, the paint you've mixed and then having to mix more.
Right, yeah. It's a good idea to use a lollipop stick to mix your colour up as well rather than your brush, because it ruins your brushes.
Oh God, yeah.
A lot of people use the brush to mix the colour and it doesn't half wear your brushes out.
Yeah. Right. Moment of truth. If it goes wrong, I can blame Fred.
Yep. I'll take full responsibility.
You don't need to, mate. I'm responsible for my own mistakes in life. Right. It's very red at the minute.
So you can do that light, sort of like
layer it over, yeah.
What an oil painter would call a scumble.
Yeah, basically.
Which is like a half covered of covering dry brush. Yeah.
Yeah.
In pastelists call it scruffing.
Pastelists call it scruffing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a feeling I might not have enough. And also I have a feeling that's tinted as I've dragged it down a little.
A little bit, yeah. Got a bit pinker. But I think it's still working alright.
Then again, I can throw this round the backs. I'm just doing a big general overbrush just to knock the red back. Get a little bit of a lighter colour on there, because I can always throw a bit more cream in or a bit more white. And
yeah. Yeah, you can always neutralise it a little bit by putting an opposite colour in there as well. A little bit to tone it down.
Yeah. I definitely feel I haven't got enough of this. But let's get a broad covering on, and then if I need to mix some more up, I can.
Yeah.
Let me spread that out because that's too excessive. That got laid on too heavily. Luckily it's at the back of the piece.
Yeah. You could always wipe a bit off as well with a rag or something, or a tissue.
It's a bit difficult with these
Oh, is it?
pieces. Yeah, well, because they've got a texture.
So
It hides in the recesses, you know what I mean?
Grabs the colour.
Yeah, exactly. And it grips it really well.
Yeah, yeah. That's good though, it means it'll be durable and hard wear.
Oh god, well that's
scratch,
you know, one of the benefits of using this technique.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously for gaming you want it to be durable enough to be usable.
What the hell?
Where'd that come from?
There. Oh god.
Oh, you got a bit of contamination there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got blue all down it now.
yeah. That'll wipe off then.
He says.
He said optimistically.
And the worst thing about that is it means I can't continue my overbrushing because I've dampened it. And I'm going to have to come in, give it a base coat and touch it up.
Because it won't take on...
Yeah, it's going to affect it, isn't it? Which means I'm going to have to mix it up again. Hey ho!
Oh.
Might go a little bit lighter next time. And a little bit more yellow just... But now it's drying, that's coming together quite nicely.
Yeah, actually it's beginning to look pretty good, yeah.
Right, so I'm going to have to leave that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I am going to have to... Right, let's very quickly, yeah, just to save a bit of time tomorrow. Knock that back. Because it's only going over a burnt sienna base coat. I can just grab it and throw it on. So I'll knock this back here as well. Just so that isn't as stark. There we go. And then I can come back in and just have another go.
That's the beauty of painting, is it's infinitely adjustable. So, you know, you can take it one way, push it a little bit further another way, you know, put a bit of grey in at some point.
Right, let me just redarken this lot, to be truthful. Because I'm not happy with that. It's alright, it's at the back of the piece, so no one's going to see that bit anyway. Yeah, but if I can break it up a bit, then when I do it tomorrow, I can see that coming together nicely.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can as well, yeah.
Once with a remix.
It's a good way sometimes to tell as well as if you visually isolate it by looking at it through
So
your hands.
okay,
like
what?
that.
All right, burnt sienna mixed with cream. Why did we add the yellow? Why did you say yellow?
Because it was coming out a bit too pink.
So if something's a bit pinkish, yellow is the way to go.
If you want to break that reddish cast that you were getting, that pinkish cast, you could put a bit of blue in. That would neutralise it, then make it like cooler.
Right.
And you want to keep it because sandstone's warm.
Yeah.
So yellow, I would definitely use yellow.
Right.
Perhaps a different yellow. Maybe try yellow ochre. Tomorrow try a bit of yellow ochre.
Actually, yeah, that's a bit more ground and earthy, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's kind of earthier. Yeah, brown.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah, I never thought of that at the time, but yeah, perhaps a browner yellow and the sienna would work better.
Right. I have reached a point where I can do no more because I've buggered it up. Yeah. Yeah. So, how long have we been going? Oh, I've been going about an hour. Right. I'm going to call it now, guys. Yeah, because I've been here all day. I've got an evening of writing to do. And I'm getting to the stage where I'm making silly mistakes because I'm chatting too much. Yeah, and I can't do that. Not for the book. So I think it's best if I call it hey ho. Right, in which case, listen guys, thanks for joining. Sorry the channel's quiet at the minute. We will get all this sorted soon and we'll get, back into the Once you got into the habit of things. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you for a proper natter on the Sunday nighty, yeah? Alright, all the best. Ta-ra.
Bye for now.